going on there in the US. That's talking about America. Well, of course, you can tell that it is exciting where we had an African team win, of course, their first game at the FIFA Club World Cup. And I'm talking about Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa. They defeated Ulsan by a goal to nil. And talk about the other games that went down when we talk about the FIFA Club World Cup. We had a Flamengo. They defeated Esperance de Tunisia yesterday. Borussia Dortmund, it ended in the stalemate between this side. That's 0-0. And after 180 minutes of action there at the MetLife Stadium, we are yet to see a goal. Fluminense against Porto ended 0-0. And down the game between Fluminense and Borussia Dortmund ended that's 0-0 also yesterday. Well, I meant to say Palmeiras earlier against the FC Porto. Well, definitely from the other game that went on just in the early hours of today, Monterrey against Inter Milan. 1-1. It ended the first game for Chivu, that's the new head coach. Well, definitely ended 1-1. And then you saw Sergio Ramos in action in that encounter for Monterrey. And you could tell that it definitely was a good one for the legendary defender also to play against one of the most fearful side when we talk about European football. Despite losing that by 5 goals to 0 in the finals of the UEFA Champions League, the class of Inter Milan, definitely you can't take that away. For River Plate, they defeated Urawa Reds by 3 goals to 1 yesterday. And then just the big moment happens to be Mamelodi Sundowns defeating Ulsan by a goal to 0. The goal was scored that by Rangers in the 36th minute, and you could tell that it was definitely a good one for Mamelodi Sundowns, who are top of the table with 3 points. Borussia Dortmund and Fluminense sharing the spoils with 0-0 yesterday. They both have 1 point, and Ulsan they are bottom of the group with 0 points. Well, of course, we also have our partners, the BBC, standing by to take us through the update from English football. When we talk about the update from English football, Danny Levy, well, the owner of Tottenham Football Club, said sacking Ange Postecoglou, the Australian, was emotionally difficult. Remember that Ange Postecoglou, this man won Tottenham Football Club their first trophy in over 17 years, and he paid the price for a domestic campaign in which his side finished 17th in the Premier League with a former Brentford boss, Thomas Frank, well, definitely replacing him at this point in time. So definitely we thought we'd listen to more from that from our partners, the BBC. And then we have other sporting stories also, where it's all about the CAF Confederation Cup, where Abia Warriors, they began their preparation, talking about their bid to play that in the group stage of the CAF Confederation Cup. The Umaya-based side, they secured their spot in the CAF Confederation Cup after finishing third in the 2024-25 NPFL season. That's their highest league placing and first opportunity to compete at the continental level, which definitely is a good one for them as well. And then we talk about honors are being restored. I think Peter made mention of this yesterday, where your state government, they landed that 3 years in 1998, that title winning squad, that's what they were owed. And definitely that's a good one also, talking about development from that front. All right, we join our partners now, the BBC, to take a listen to what they have for us on that front of the BBC Premier League updates. When we come back, we'll discuss about some other sporting stories and make it around to their end exciting world of sports. The BBC Premier League updates.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Matty Nixon at the BBC Sports Centre. Could the Tottenham captain Son Heung-min be on his way out of the club? Well, not quite yet, despite interest in the forward from Saudi Arabia. The South Korea international has 12 months left on his contract, but BBC reporting suggests any exit is likely to be delayed until after their tour of Asia. Spurs don't want to risk complications with tour organisers. The club have 2 scheduled friendlies against Arsenal on the 31st of July in Hong Kong, before a game against Newcastle in Seoul 3 days later. Elsewhere, the Nottingham Forest midfielder Elliot Anderson says he can't wait to experience European nights at the City Ground next season. Forest finished 7th in the Premier League and will play in the Europa Conference League. But after missing out on the Champions League on the final day of last season, was Anderson satisfied with a place in Europe's third-tier competition?
Not really, no. I think everyone was pretty disappointed in the camp. So, we sort of fell off towards the end, which is a real shame. But I think we'll have to be proud of what we've done. Obviously, you've seen Chelsea win it this season, and I think if we play the way we did last season, we could have a real good chance of getting towards the end. So, I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, Anderson was speaking to the press ahead of England's Under-21 European Championship group match against Germany in Slovakia on Wednesday. Lee Carsley's defending champions know they need a point from the game in order to progress to the knockout stages. Brighton have completed the signing of Italy and Hellas Verona centre-back Diogo Coppola for an undisclosed fee. The 21-year-old, capped twice for Italy, has signed a 5-year deal with the Seagulls. And finally, the 2025-26 Premier League fixtures will be released on Wednesday. For more on the fixtures and the rest of the football news, just go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Right, there you listen to the BBC Premier League update. Well, definitely, let's just still go back and, of course, enjoy a bit of that's the FIFA Club World Cup. There are 4 games set to go down today, which definitely would mark the concluding part of that's the match day 1 of the FIFA Club World Cup. And from those games set to go down later today, we have Real Madrid, whom, of course, they've won at the FIFA Club World Cup on numerous occasions. And then we definitely have Manchester City also that take on their opponent that later today also in the FIFA Club World Cup. An African side, they are playing that's Wydad Casablanca. So we take a look at all the that's fixtures from the FIFA Club World Cup games. It's set to go down later today and in the early hours of tomorrow. All right, update from the U.S. talking about America. Manchester City will be up against the Wydad Casablanca of Morocco later today by 5 p.m. And Real Madrid will be up against that's Saudi Arabia side Al-Hilal. That's also later today by 8 p.m. And the update for that game said that Kylian Mbappe is ill and might not be available to actually play the game against Al-Hilal later today. Pachuca will be up against Pachuca will be up against RB Salzburg later today also. And Al Ain will be up against Juventus, marking the concluding part of match day 1 of the expanded edition of the FIFA Club World Cup, which definitely has been a great one. But there are definitely minors in football. When you talk about that victory in which Bayern Munich had, I think that will be the highlight of match day 1 of the FIFA Club World Cup. All right, so let's leave tennis stories football stories at this point and talk about tennis stories where yesterday we were talking about the games going on, some ATP 500 tournaments and also the WTA 500 tournaments going on here in Germany and also in that at the Queens. Well, for Lorenzo Sonego, he won in straight set, defeating Struff late yesterday, 2-0. Felix Auger-Aliassime also came from a set down, well, not from a set down, but he defeated Jerry also 2-1. Jannik Sinner defeated Anfron. That's 2-love yesterday. Shapovalov also defeated that's Umbat. That's yesterday. But then talk about Jannik Sinner, Carlos Alcaraz rather. Well, he won his game also against Walton in straight set 6-4, 7-6. He won yesterday. Mutet also won that's 2-1, coming from a set down, defeating Taylor Fritz. And then you talk about Opelka also defeated Kabeli in straight sets. That's 2-love. While in the WTA categories, also Eleanor Bakina, she won a 2-love. Then you talk about Schneider also winning 2-love. And Isimova defeated Andreescu. That's a 2-love. Marketa Vondrousova defeated Madison Keys. Also 2-love. And Wang defeated Daria Kasatkina also. That's in straight set. So later today, the action continues. I'll talk about tennis games. Stefanos Tsitsipas will be up against Mikkelsen. And then Medvedev will be up against Alexander Zverev 𝐒𝐍𝐿𝐒v will be up against the Giron. Karen Kachanov will be up against the Bags. And then we'll talk about Olgarun up against the Mackenzie McDonald. And Nakashima will be up against Evans. Jack Draper will be up against Popperin. Jacques Bensik will be up against Batista August. And then Jasmine Paulini will be up against Oz Jabbar. Samsonova will be up against Jessica Pegula. Arina Sabalenka will be up against Masarova. Paula Badosa will be up against Emma Navarro. These games are set to go down. We'll talk about tennis stories. But this is how far we can go on today's edition of the show right on 32 FM 94.9. We'll come later in the afternoon to reload some sporting stories and definitely just give an insight to the games we expect to go down today and other developments we have before 3:30 later today. I am SAMIES, your sports captain. Do enjoy the rest of the day and bye for now.